Thanks for tuning in today. Hi, Olivia. All right, I'm pumped to be doing this. I wanted to get together. Oh, I have a very squeaky piano bench today. I wanted to get together and talk about one of my favorite things as a musician, which are chords. You can barely hear me. Okay, let's see. I'm going to turn my volume. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Amanda. Hey, Terry. Thanks for telling me that you could barely hear me. I'm going to speak up and hope that this is better. Let me know. You got me. Okay, thank you. So, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite things as a musician, which are chords. And I find chords to be incredibly important. As a fiddle player, primarily my role is playing a lot of melodies. But as fiddle playing has progressed, oh, it's so fun to see people. Hey, Richard. Hey, Megan. Awesome. Okay, thanks for joining. So as fiddle playing has progressed, fiddle players have become really instrumental about playing backup and knowing how to improvise, knowing how to add harmonies, and it's really important to understand how chord progressions work and how to find chords all over your fingerboard. So that's what this is about today. This whole book that I want to talk to you about that I accidentally wrote. And I wrote this book primarily for fiddlers. However, I'm a 5-string fiddle player, so I have a C string. So this also works for anybody who has a C string up to an E string. So that would be cellos, violas, fiddles, mandolins. This workshop today is going to be particularly useful for you guys. And yeah, so let's get cracking at it. Hey, Esther. Hello, hello. Hi from Michigan. This is so exciting. For some reason, the comments aren't scrolling on my phone, so I'm trying to check out my desktop at the same time. And Liz, hi, everyone. Yay. Okay, so this is the chord book, which actually I had printed at my local UPS store because I like the tactile part of having a book, especially when I'm practicing. I like having that. However, in today's society, I know that the instant gratification thing is really, really nice. Because if you're so inclined to start working on chords, wouldn't you like to have it immediately when you want to start working on chords? So this is an instant download as a PDF on the Jam with Lauren site. And if you scroll up to the beginning, I put a link. But if you go to jamwithlauren.com and go to ebooks, you could actually get this like right now. It might take you like 2 minutes. It will show up in your email and you can download it. But this is a really beautiful, in my opinion, colorful book, and I'm going to turn the camera around so we can see it, and we're going to go through the entire lesson in the key of C today. And so, thank you, Megan. And Jim from Arkansas, I love it. I love it, and I've got some Ossipee peeps too. This is great. Or Ossipeeps, I should say. So this book is 50 pages. And I had it bound, like I said, so I could touch it and work through it. But you don't need to print it if you don't want to. And some people have asked me if I could mail it to them printed like this. It's a little cost prohibitive. It cost me about $27 to have it printed. And then by the time I mail it to you, so it's probably better if you just download it for $14 and do with it what you will. Okay, so what I'd like to do is turn the camera around, and so you can have a really good glimpse of all of this. And I'm gonna lay this flat. I'm sorry, I hope I don't make you sick while I turn the camera around. Give me just a sec to do that. Okay, here we go. We're moving through the studio. Don't get sick. Here we come. Okay, and then I'm gonna tilt you down. I'm sorry, folks. All right, so we're gonna open this beautiful book. And so we've talked a little bit about why we might want to play a chord. And one thing, and the book talks about that too, about why we would want to play a chord. We'd want to like maybe add a double stop to a melody, start improvising, playing backup, write a harmony part, participate in a jam session. So those are reasons why we would want to play a chord. And then as I open, let's talk about what a chord is. Okay, so a chord is a group of notes. Okay, and the group of notes is usually every other alphabet note. And chords and arpeggios, you've probably heard the word arpeggio before, are actually exactly the same group of notes, but just how you play them is differently. So if I play a group of notes, one after another, that's an arpeggio. But if I play them all at once, that's a chord. So they're the same group of chords. And so we listed out the alphabet collection. So if you built the chords skipping the note, we have A, and then you skip over B, you play C, skip over D, play E, and so we spell ace. If we do that same idea based on the letter B, we get B, D, F. And then you can see this collection of notes. We did that for the entire musical alphabet. And so this is a fun thing for you to just kind of memorize and spell. Oh my gosh, Sam Lyons is here and Mark Thatcher is here. This is so exciting. Yay! I love seeing former students who are now professional musicians. It makes me so excited. Okay, so if you can memorize ACE, BDF, CEG, DFA, EGB, FAC, GBD, which I often like to say GBD, those are helpful things for you. And then we apply these alphabet notes to a scale. And today, we're going to start on a C major scale, okay? And by the way, if you would like some more help with major scales, I have a really pretty free download of a major scale workbook. And so I highly recommend you going and getting that because it really helps with building scales. But there's a little pretty colorful thing right here that talks about how to build a major scale. And the way to build a major scale is using this pattern of half steps. And there are only 2 half steps in a major scale, and they're between the 3rd and 4th note and the 7th and the 1st note. So here we have C, you have a whole step to D, a whole step to E. Here's the half step to F, G, A, B, and then we're back at C. So I took this pattern of the major scale, and then when I flip the page, what we've done here, give it a, I'm glad you like that, Liz. When we flip the page, I just make sure that you can see the whole page here. When we flip the page, this is now a map of essentially a 5-string fingerboard. So if you play a cello or a viola and you don't have the E string, you don't need to look at this part, okay? Or if you have a traditional fiddle or mandolin, you don't need to look at the C string. But I wanted to be all-inclusive. Okay, so we've got this fingerboard, and this is the map of the C major scale on the fingerboard. We have the C string and all the notes that are in the C scale, in first position, I should say. And then this is the G string with all the notes of the C scale on the G string, the D, the A string, and the E string. And if you notice, we did that same kind of whole step, half step pattern. So we have C is the first note of the scale, and it's also the bottom note of the C string. A whole step to D, a whole step to E. Here's the half step to F, and then a whole step to what would be your 4th finger on the G, which is the equivalent note as your open G string. So this is where all the fiddle players are gonna start, okay? So we've got the open G, A, B, half step to C, because that would be 5, 6, 7, 1. D is a whole step, that's 2. Here's the same D string. This is your 4th finger on the G string. This is your open D. 1st finger E, half step to F, which a lot of us affectionately call low 2, okay? G, 4th finger A, open A string, B, C, which is your low 2, D, your 3rd finger, 4th finger E, open E. Here's your F, which you notice is a half step, and so that's what we call our low 1, G, A, and then 4th finger B. So I just walked through that with my finger, and I would actually like to play that so you can hear what that sounds like. So if anybody has your instrument go ahead and get your instruments so we can play this C scale. I'm going to play all of these strings because I can, because I have a 5 string. But if you don't, just hop on or end, depending on what your string is. So we're going to start on this C, and we're going to play every single note that is on this map. So if we have, we're going to play a 4th finger and an open. Okay, so we'll have 2 G's, and we'll have 2 D's, and we'll have 2 A's, 2 E's when we're playing this scale, just so we really know our fingerboard. Okay, so anybody who has a C string, we're going to start here. Ready? Play C, and then your first finger D, 2nd finger E, 3rd finger F, 4th finger G. Get ready, E string people, here we go. Open G, 1st finger A, 2nd finger B, half step to C, 4th finger D. Now your open D, the E, 1st finger, low 2 is F, 3rd finger is G, 4th finger A, open A, B, low 2 for C, 3rd finger D, 4th finger E, open E, low 1 is F, whole step to G, A, whole step to B, and let's descend. We've got B, A, G, F, E, and then 4th finger E, D, C, B, open A, 4th finger A, G, F, E, D, 4th finger D, C, here's our high 2 B, A, G, 4th finger G if you have it, F, E, D, C. Okay, so we just played the scale. And notice that I said the names out loud. I think it's really important to say the note names out loud. But now, because you came here for chords, we're going to go on to the chords. We talked about how arpeggios and arpeggios and chords are the same thing. So we just made an arpeggio starting on C, skipping the notes. Remember, it was C, E, G. C, you'd skip over a D, play the E. Here we go. C, skip over the D, play the E, skip over the F, play the G. So for a C chord or C arpeggio, we've got C, E, G. So now we're going to play all the C's and the E's and G's on the fingerboard. This is our C arpeggio. Okay, so we've got our open C, if you have an open C, then your 2nd finger E, then your 4th finger G. Now G string people, or excuse me, E string people start on your open G, then 3rd finger C. Go over to your D string, play the E, here's another G, A string, play the C, play your 4th finger, that's the E, same note as your open E, and then the G. And then we'll come back down, play the G again. E, 4th finger E, C, go over to the G, play the E, rock over to the C, open G, if you have it, 4th finger G, E, C. So you can do that while you're watching this map and saying the notes out loud, but it would be really great if you did that as well. By memory, if you know your fingerboard. So eventually you can play that's the idea, okay? So we just found all the notes that are in a C chord all over your fingerboard in 1st position. So now this is how we use this information as a chord. Okay, we come over to these beautiful maps. Oh, Terry, what are you saying? I just kind of lost you on the last part. Okay, the last part was me playing all the colored notes. Okay, so I played all the notes that are in the colors, which is what's spelling the C arpeggio. So instead of playing all the notes on the map, I just played the letters that spell a C chord, C, E, G. So that's what I did there. And it sounded kind of interesting because I duplicated any 4th finger notes that were there. So I could just play C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G. But we have an open E and a 4th finger E and an open G and a 4th finger G. So that's why some of the notes were duplicated. Okay, I'm gonna move back over to this page, which is essentially, this is if we have cellists or violists here, this is for you guys. Good, Terry, thanks. I'm glad you got it. Okay, so I'm actually going to skip over this page for today because I want to make sure that everybody here can use what I'm doing right now. So this is, as it says, on the C and G strings, these are combinations. So essentially these little maps right here are the C and just the C and the G string from this scale page, C and the G, circling every single combination that you could do. So I'm going to move past this for a second, and I'm going to go to just the D, G, and the D strings. Adjust the camera. Okay, thank you, Liz. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are we doing now? Let me see. Not good. Okay. I think we're good there. I think that's good. Okay. So on the G and the D strings, as you can see, this is a G and this is the D. Okay. So all of the notes that are on the G and the D string that are in a C major chord are G and E, C and E, or C and G. So if we play those, by the way, I'm sorry, I kind of crossed off G and G because you could play your open G and this third finger G. Those are both notes that are in a C chord. However, it's going to sound too G-ish. So we're not going to do that. We're going to play G and E, C and E, and C and G. And that looks like this. So let's do the first one. You're going to play your open G string with your first finger E on the D string. And that sounds like this. So that could be a C chord. Okay, then we'll do the next combination in the list, the C and the E. Here's the C on the G string, which is your third finger, and the E on the D string, which is your first finger. So, and if I play them together, there's a lovely C chord. Okay, and then our last, what we call voicing, because we're choosing two of the C strings, two of the C chord notes are C and G, your third finger on the G string and the D string. So here's the third finger C, here's the third finger G. If I play them together, so we just played 3 different C chords on those 2 strings. Let's go through them again. We've got the G and the E, the C and the E, and the C and the G. So we have 3 different ways to play the C chord on those 2 strings. And when instead of saying 3 different ways, I need to back up and say we're going to call these ways voicings on how to play them, because we have 3 notes in the chord, but because of our arched bridges, people with bows have a hard time playing all 3 notes at once, and it doesn't really provide good backup or melody information to necessarily play all 3 at once. So we're just choosing 2, and the choices that we make are called voicings. So we just learned 3 different ways to voice the C chord on the G and the D string. So now let's learn how to voice the same exact chord, but over here on the D and the A. And I'm checking to make sure that you can see everything. I think so. Okay, there we go. So now we are on the D and the A strings. Okay, so here's the D string, here's the A string. Same exact map 3 times. Okay, but we're just circling every combination that we can play. So on the D string, we have the E and the C that we can play together. So that's your first finger on the D string, and then the C, second finger. I think it's a little bright. I think it got a little washed out. Here, I'm gonna move that. Maybe you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so here's the E, and then the C. When you play that together, that's the C chord. If we take the next option, the G, your third finger on the D string, and that same exact C, it sounds like this. And you play them together. And then that same G, but with your fourth finger E on the A string, that's that combination. So let's go over those again. We've got the E and the C, G and the C, G and the E. All right, we've got one more set of strings, the A and the E strings. We're gonna turn this, bring this over here. Sorry, try and get you a good angle, a good view. Okay, a little bit more, I think. So these are the maps of the A and the E string. Here's the A string, here's the E string. These are the notes that are on the A string, these are the notes that are on the E string, and the colored notes are the notes that are in the C chord. So the first combination that we could do would be C and open E. Okay, so that's your second finger on the C, and then the open E. Alrighty, and then if we play that same C with the G that's right across it, and then we use that same G that we just played, but that fourth finger E. There we go. So we have 3 different ways on that, on those 2 strings. So let's play them again. We'll play the C and the E, C and the G, E and the G. Hi, Elisa. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so the big thing is to not get overwhelmed by all of this, but just be excited about how many possibilities there are that we just played all of those C string chords, excuse me, all of those C major chords all over your instrument. We played them from the G string up to the E string. I skipped over the C string for today. Okay, so we just did the C chord. I actually want to go through 2 other chords today because if we're in the key of C, that would be the 1 chord. And the way westernized music works is that we need to at least know the 1, the 4, and the 5 chords of every key to really jam. Excuse me, I took a sip of water. Okay, so the 4th chord, the 4th chord, is built on the 4th note of the C scale, which is F. C, D, E, F is the 4th note. So here we go. I'm going to move us over for a minute. And this is a beautiful map of the fingerboard. The C string, the G string, the D string, the A, and the E strings again. Okay, but now, instead of the C chord colored in, we have the F chord colored in. And remember, if we take the chords, every other note, we would start on an F, and then we would skip over and go to an A, and then we would skip over and go to a C. There's my dreaded home phone. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so the C string has the C, and then here's the scale again. So we've got C, D, E. Here's the half step to F. This is our lowest F. Then you've got the 4th finger G, the open G, A, B, C, D, 4th finger, open D, E, half step to F. This is a chord tone, that's why it's colored in. G, 4th finger A is the same as your open A. B, C, D, E, open E. Here's F, G, A, and then B. So this is the same exact scale. We were still playing the C scale, but this time we've colored in the F chord tones, or the F arpeggio. So let's go through and play this F arpeggio. And if you have a C string, remember you're starting with me, and if you have an E string player that doesn't have a C string, you can just hop in on the first note that's on the G string, which in this case is your 1st finger A. Okay, so C string people, we're going to start on the open C, and then you'll go to your 3rd finger F, and then go to your G string. Here's the A, here's the C, 3rd finger, go to your D string. This is your low 2 F. You can play the A with your 4th finger. Then you can play the open A. Here's your low 2 C. Go to the E string, which is your low F. And then your 3rd finger A. And then we'll descend. We'll do those same notes. We've got the A, the F. Go over to your A string, C, open A, 4th finger A, low 2 F. Cross over to your G string. Here's your C, 1st finger A. C string has F, and then the C. Oh my goodness, Mark and Catherine are here. That is amazing. Hi, you guys. Much love to both of you. Okay, so let's play this F arpeggio one more time, a little smoother. So here we go. Here's C. Alrighty, so remember the F arpeggio notes are the same of an F chord. Okay, so now we're going to build the F chord. And we're turn the page, and here on the C and G strings are all the combinations that you can play for an F chord. Okay, so the C string with your 1st finger A, the F with the A or the F with the C. And remember, they're listed out here too. So, oh, I'm glad you like the C string. I do too. I know you do. Okay, so here's the C and the A together, or the F and the A, and then the F and the C. All right, so those are the three combinations of the F chord on the C and G strings. And now we're gonna move over to the G and the D strings. Oh, that's a little much, sorry. Okay, G and the D strings is where everybody can play along. So we've got the A and the F, your third finger C and the F, or that same third finger C and your fourth finger A. And again, they're listed up here. So here's your first finger A and the F, sounds like this. And then if I keep my same F there, but add my third finger, and then that same third finger, but add my fourth finger. So those are three different ways to play the F chord on the G and the D string. I know I'm moving fast, but don't worry, this is all in the book, and I'm gonna save this live so you can come back and work on it. And if you're a Jam with Lauren subscriber, I have videos working through these in the curriculum as well. So, okay, on the D and the A strings, spelling an F chord, we've got F, A's, and C's. The F and the A, oh, I'm gonna move that just a little bit more, excuse me. F and the A, F and the C, or A and the C. Okay, so here's the F, your low 2, and the open A. Then your low 2 on both strings, F and C. And then your fourth finger A, and that's C. So we've got 3 new F chords there. And then moving quickly, oh, Mark, thank you. That means a lot to me. This is the A and the E string and all the combinations of F, A, and C on the A and E string. So we've got A, open A, and your low F, C, and the low F, and then C and the A. So let's play that. So we've got open A and the low F, the C and that same F, and that same C and the A. So all of those F chords. So we just played through 12 different ways to play an F major chord in first position, and we've got these maps. I'm gonna push you guys, and we're gonna do one more chord, because the next chord is the G chord, which is the 5 chord in the key of C, which is a really friendly and very important chord for everybody to know how to play. So here is, again, the C scale. Okay, this is our C scale, but this time the colored notes are the G arpeggio or the G chord notes. Okay, so if we're doing every other note based on a G, we have G, let me start here, G, skip over the A, go to B, skip over the C, and then D. So a G arpeggio or a G chord is G, B, D, and that's written in a description up here too. So if we play all the G's, B's, and D's all over the fingerboard, it's gonna go like this. You've got your first finger on the C string, which is D, fourth finger G, now the open G, second finger B, fourth finger D, open D, third finger G, first finger B, third finger D, second finger G, and then your fourth finger B. And then we'll come back down. B, G, D, B, G, D, D, B, G, G, D. So that was our G arpeggio. And then if we do all the combinations, for right now I'm going to skip over the C string. There are a lot of them, okay, but I just want to make sure that everybody's participating. Hang in there, we're moving quickly, but you guys, this is going to be good, I can tell. I just know it. All right. So here on the G and the D strings, I got to adjust this so you can see this is a big map. Let's see, did I get it? I think I have it, kind of. Okay, there we go. That's pretty good. Okay, so on the G and the D strings, this is the G string, this is the D string. We have all these different combinations. So we're gonna start here on the open G and D. That's the first option. Then we have the open G and the third finger G, which is an octave. Sorry, I hit the camera. And then this next one, so sorry, I did not mean to make you sick. Okay, then the B and the D. And then the B and the G. And then the fourth finger D and that same G that we were just playing. So I played all of those. We'd have all the G chords on the G and the D string. Hey Sarah, oh my goodness, it's so nice to see Sarah Caswell's name. I hope you're well, my dear. Okay, so on the D and the A strings, we have the open D and your first finger B, third finger G, first finger B, third finger G, third finger D. So let's play those. Here's the open D and B, G and B, and then the G and the D. So that's 3 different ways on the D and the A string. And then we're gonna do one more set, the A and the E string. Okay, let me make sure you can see. Can you see? Yes, okay. So on the A and the E strings, the G major chord, we've got the B and the G, the D in that G, and then the D in that B. So that sounds like this, B and G, D and G, D and B. Woohoo! We just did it. Okay, so I'm going to move the camera again. So sorry if you get sick. Here we go, nice and slow. Hello. Hi, it's me again. I'm here. Hello, hello. You just did a lot of theory work and I'm really proud of you. Good job. Okay, so what we just did is a lot of work and not necessarily something I would ever intend any student to memorize right away. If this is your first introduction to chords, or if you've been introduced to chords and you have your go-to voicing that you want to expand upon, this is the way to get going as far as finding those other chords. For right now, I want to show you how to start using these. And so I would, if you're brand new to chords, I would say pick one of those voicings and memorize it for each one of those chords. Pick one voicing of the C chord, one voicing of the F chord, and one voicing of the G chord to get started. And when you get more comfortable, then start adding in more voicings. So if you're already comfortable with 1 or 2 voicings of those 3 chords, because that's the 1, 4, and 5 in the key of C, then use this book to start adding more voicings. So right now, I'm going to recommend that we play this. I'm going to give you a voicing to memorize right now because I want to do a little jam. Okay, so we're going to play the C chord, and we'll play the third finger on the G, or the ring finger on the G, which is a C, and then the first finger E. Hey Terry! So we've got the C and the E as the C chord, otherwise known as 1 in this key. And then you're going to drop your second finger, your low 2, on the D string, which is an F, and that will be our F chord for today. So here's the C, C and E. Drop the F, keep the same C, this is your F chord. And then for the 5 chord, the G, you can just play open G and D. And then go back to C. And so today I thought we would play a tune that I often play or a song that I often play in the key of C, which is Sugar Babe or Red Rocking Chair. And so this tune actually starts on 4, so it's starting on the F, and it goes back and forth between 4 and 1 for a really long time. So, well, I ain't got no use, well, I ain't got no use for that red rocking chair. I got no sugar, baby, now. I got no sugar, honey, baby, now. So we start on F, which is the 4. 4, 1, that's C. Do that again. 4, 1, stay on 1, go back to F. C, C, back to F. C, here's the 5. G, C, that's the chord progression for this tune, the melody. 4, 1, 1. So I wrote this blog post that I'm actually particularly excited about to help you practice chords. And it's disguised as a little hack for finding guitar chords and knowing the shapes of chords that guitar players are using. And so I'm going to turn you back around for a minute because I want you to know how to use these chords and to practice with them. And so we're going to take a little journey here again. Here we go. I'm just going to make sure that you can see my computer. Lisa, I read your comment that you just got the book. I'm so excited you got the book. Thank you. And I'm really excited that you're going to sign up for tunes again. I actually really need to thank my Jam with Lauren students for inspiring me to write material like this, because the Jam with Lauren group is pretty awesome. Okay, so this is my website, jamwithlauren.com. And if you come up here to ebooks, that is where you can find that beautiful book that we just worked through. And I should also say that the chords, this book, go through quite a few chords. I'll let you know all of the chords that happen. We just did 3 of them. But then I want to come over here to the blog and show you this blog post, Chord Shapes and Capos, How to Decode a Guitarist's Hands. And this talks about 1, 4, and 5 in the keys, in lots of different keys, and recognizing the shapes of the guitar player. And so I'm going to scroll. Sorry if this is making you sick. I'm going to scroll down to the key of C because that's what we just worked on. Here we are in the key of C. And this is what a guitar player's hand looks like when they're playing a C chord. Okay, and we played the C chord with our 3rd finger on the G, our ring finger on the G, and our pointer finger on the D string. So we had a C and a C and an E. And then this is what a guitar player's F chord looks like, the 4 chord. We played the same C with an F. They kind of look really similar. And then here are 2 different ways that guitarists often play a G chord, the 5 chord. So if you click on the link, here's a link for Sugar Babe, which is what I was just playing with you. And I have this queued up over here. And I want to talk to you about how to play this. And it's on silent right now, so you can hear me talk while we're getting ready. But if we play, I want you to, I took a lot of time in this post to try to find, let me make sure that you can see. Okay, to try to find shots of the guitar player's hand. I'm going to move this just a little bit more so you can see. So here, if you pay attention to Kai's hands, you can see the F and the C and the G. And in order to jam along, I'm going to change the speed to 0.75. Okay, but look, you can still see Kai's hand. So that will help you be able to jam along and start recognizing guitar shapes and hearing them, of course. So let's see. I'm going to unmute the sound here for just a sec of this. Can I unmute the sound? Oh, yeah, I need to turn this volume up. Okay, and then, so you can hear that it's slow. Here's 4, 1, and then this is F, C, C, back to F, C, back to F, C, G, C. So you can basically play along what we just did, and I'm going to crank this up because I want you to play. I'm going to grab my fiddle and we'll play together. Okay, here's the top of the tune. F, C, back to F, C, F, back to C, F, back to F, back to F, alrighty, so hopefully you see how you can jam along with that blog post. There are tons of videos, and I tell you what key you're in, and I show you the shapes with the capos, and so you can practice all of the chords that you learn in the chord book with that blog post. Okay, so, sorry, that was close. Okay, so this chord book is $14 as an immediate download on jamwithlauren.com on the ebooks. I put a link at the top of the lesson, and it goes through the C chord, the F chord, and the G chord like we did today. You did it, Liz! Oh my gosh, you did it! Liz, that's amazing! I'm so proud of you! Yay, 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 yay! It worked! Thank you for telling me. Okay, so we've got, sorry, it was worth a celebration. Okay, so we've got the C and the G on every single set of strings, C and G, G and D, D and A and E. We've got the C chord, the F chord, and the G chord, which we did today. And then we move to the key of G, which you already know how to do because you learned how to do a G chord. And then we learn the 4 and the 5 in the key of G. 4 in the key of G is C, which you've gotten here. And then you learn how to play a D chord. And then you move to the key of D, and you learn how to play D, G, and A all over your fingerboard. Thanks, Terry. And so that was in the key of D. And then you move to the key of A, and you learn 1, 4, and 5 all over your fingerboard. So that's the A chord, the D chord, and the E chord all over your fingerboard. And then we move to flat keys, okay? So we go back. We've moved up by sharps, and then we start going to the key of F, okay? And we learn how, we already knew how to build an F chord. We learned that today, but we learned how to do the 4 and the 5 in the key of F. So we learn a B flat chord, and we already learned how to do a C chord. And then we move to the key of B flat, and we learn B flat, E flat, and F. So you've got quite a few different keys all over your fingerboard. And I would love this book to be successful enough that I am prompted to write volume 2 to get all of the chords. But you've got a lot of information in here all over your fingerboard and lots of different ways to practice it with that blog post. And I just want to say thank you for you guys tuning in today. But I also want to thank my Jam with Lauren subscribers because they're the instigators for me to continually come up with new material. And so if you subscribe to Jam with Lauren, it's $37 a month, which is less than a half-hour private lesson with me. And you get access to like over 400 videos of me teaching tunes and teaching you how to hear chord progressions and how to hear melodies and make up your own variations and how to find double stops. And you get a bunch of downloads, to play along with me and my husband Sten and Amanda Kowalski on bass. And one of the nicest perks is that we have this exclusive Jam with Lauren Facebook group where I teach a lesson very similar to what was like today every other week, and you have access to me. You can comment and ask me questions. It's a very active group where the students upload videos of themselves. There's no pressure to do that, but you're welcome to do that. And I make comments and give you suggestions about what you might want to work on. And it's just really loving and very inspiring. And so those students are who inspired me to write this book. So we have to thank those subscribers. And also, if you're a beginner and you don't want to do the subscriber thing, there's a beginner bundle, which is, I think, just under 40 videos that are cherry-picked for beginners that teach you how to play the melody and chords and how to jam. So there's kind of something for everyone, but I really hope you check out the blog post and that you go and visit the ebook, which is what we talked about today. And I would love, love, love to hear from you. So feel free to share this live with friends and tag people that would benefit from this live video or potentially getting the book or taking lessons with me. I would love all of that. So Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today, and I'll see you on the next round. Okay,